Christmas week is underway here in Greenville. Dynamic matchup at non-conference. The George Mason Pirates at 8-1. Coming in against the ECU Pirates. Patriots and Pirates gearing up for a great night of women's college basketball. Welcome inside Minji's Coliseum with the former William & Mary coach, Debbie Taylor. I'm EvanBudrovich. Both teams back in the national conversation. George Mason, all 12 players, 10 or more minutes a night. And East Carolina, a 3-game win streak, one of the best turnover differential teams in the country. So, Debbie, how have these two programs gotten back in the national conversation?
Yeah, they have two great coaches, and they've recruited a lot of talent, and both of these coaches are defensive-minded. And East Carolina riding a 3-game win streak, but Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis bringing in her 8-1 George Mason Pirates tonight. This is going to be a great contest.
George Mason, a balanced scoring team, 4 in double figures, but maybe none better than the transfer guard coming in. How does Sonia Smith carry the load for George Mason?
You know, she's 5'7" senior, and she started her career as a point guard at Sacred Heart and has found abundant success playing the off guard for the Patriots. She leads them in scoring and assists, but it's going to be her ability to take care of the ball, knock down outside shots, and control the tempo for her team to be successful tonight.
East Carolina led by a fellow veteran guard. Neat story here for Danae McNeil. 27 points shy of 1,000 entering tonight. Her career started at Clemson, played in 30 games, and then came over to ECU last year, a dynamic all-conference season. Now, Debbie, what has made Danae an elite player at this high level?
Now she's a graduate student, and she's experienced, and she's the reigning American Defensive Player of the Year, but she ranks 4th in the country in steals per game. But she's such an explosive scorer with a beautiful pull-up jump shot. She averages almost 21 points a game, but she's going to need some help in the scoring column tonight against a very talented, deep and balanced George Mason team.
McNeil tied her career high in her last game, and these are national numbers. 4th in steals, 20th in scoring, and that's where ECU's special. The most turnovers forced of any team in the country.
They do a great job with their full court press and their matchup zone, creating deflections and creating havoc for opponents. Let's see if the George Mason Patriots can handle the pressure and take care of the ball.
49th all-time meeting. George Mason won a defensive battle. Both teams in the 40s last year. East Carolina off a 14-day final exam break, one of the longest in the country. And down low, Amaya Joyner's first touch is a layup for ECU.
That's a great sign for the Pirates. They have more size than George Mason does. Amaya Joyner, last year's Freshman of the Year in the American. They want to get her going early. Great high-low look.
Sonia Smith turns it over. Johnson in transition with a miss. At George Mason starting 5, the bench actually outscores the starters. It's a defensive-minded starting 5 for Coach Blair-Lewis.
She is all about defense. She hangs her hat on it, but she's got multiple scorers on their team, and you can see the East Carolina game plan. Work that high-low, get that ball inside, and they just drew a foul.
Niku Mitchell with the reach-in foul, her first. George Mason will play 12 players, all 12. Average 10 or more minutes. This is a balanced roster. Kim McNeil starting 5. There's a turnover. That's presented by Grady White Boats. Micah Dennis, the point operator at the point guard position. Nice ball inside and a missed jumper. That goes out to Weish down low. Tatiana Weish, the Florida transfer. That was an advantage Kim McNeil wanted to expose, the size of Weish down low.
And that's what they've done early. They've gone to the high-low look. Both these teams, you can see, love the transition game, and transition defense is going to be key tonight. Half-court defense is going to be key tonight. That's a late foul called on George Mason. So 2 quick drives for the Pirates. And 2 dribbles. This is Sonia Smith, the foul. See that wing ball screen and the drive to the basket. Got a little hit with the body there. It's going to send Danae McNeil to the free throw line. Vanessa Blair-Lewis inherited a program that had 0 conference wins at George Mason. Now their best start since 2016-17. And Vanessa knows how to win. A dominant program at Bethune-Cookman, 6 tournament titles, and now looking to rebuild George Mason. She's just had a great career at Mount St. Mary's, then at Bethune-Cookman. She took this program over when they had won 3 games. Won 10 the next year, won 16 last year. Right now is 8-1. Lone loss to Maryland by single digits. It's a tough non-conference for George Mason. Habib forces one up, and a nice jumper. Taviana Habib at Tampa, Florida. Yeah, I like the passion Mason plays with. You see how hard they cut, how well they move the ball.
against East Carolina's matchup zone. That was well executed.
Sania Johnson draws the 3rd foul of the game on George Mason. If any team can howl foul trouble, it's the Patriots, but this is 2 on Smith. Which will lead to a quick sub in the opening minutes.
We talked about her in the open, how critical she was to her team's success. But as you said, Evan, the team doesn't really miss a beat when they go to the bench. There's so much balance. And we see Taylor Jamison, who comes off the bench, who started most of her career. She's a senior right now, not used to coming off the bench, but unselfishly has accepted that role.
McNeil with the opening 3. Danae McNeil now 24 points from 1,000 in her Pirate career.
She just can score you in so many ways. She can create it with her defense. She can attack off the dribble. She's got that beautiful pull-up jump shot. And we see that 3-point stroke.
A foul away from the ball on the reach-in. So Dennis called for her first. This is an aggressive ECU defense. They force 28 turnovers a game. How do you handle that pressure for George Mason?
You really got to step to the pass. You've got to catch the ball when you're in the post. You have to chin the ball. You've got to be really strong with the ball, and you've got to move the ball on offense. It's a great look inside. Nice
what a
post to
dime
post.
and a block for Joyner. She's the human eraser tonight.
She is off to a great start. Such an incredible athlete, a local kid who chose to stay home, a big-time recruit for Coach Kim McNeil.
Kim McNeil has challenged Joyner to play at her best mentally all night long. It's a good start and a miss. Suarez has the rebound. And Suarez had it poked from behind in a rare turnover for the point guard. McNeil attack mode, drawing the foul. So that's 4 team fouls in the opening 3 minutes, nearing the bonus.
And credit East Carolina with attacking the George Mason defense. And that's a beautiful basket cut, but the block by the sophomore Joyner gets the transition started.
Joyner, top 5 in the AAC, the American in blocks, after an all-freshman campaign last year.
She's averaging 11 points a game, and as we said, it's not even playing her best basketball yet. She's so much potential to just be a great player at East Carolina and in the country as she's facing up right now. Good decision.
ECU shooting 50% entering tonight. No cold feet after the 14-day layoff. And an offensive foul turns it over on the screen. George Mason following a 9-day break, and that was an impressive win. 5 in double figures in a 30-point win against Mount St. Mary's.
Oh, they were just dominating, and they only allowed Mount St. Mary's to score 30 points. That's the fewest points for the Patriots opponent since 1991, and that gave Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis her 350th career win. So congratulations, Coach, on that win.
Vanessa is a Hall of Famer at Mount St. Mary's as a coach and returned to her stomping grounds. A turnover here for George Mason. 3 quick giveaways for the Patriots.
They knew they were going to have to handle the pressure coming in, and East Carolina's defense has come out tonight with a lot of energy.
Here's Sania Johnson with good defensive pressure.
Really working that high-low with that high ball screen, trying to feed the post.
Clock to 7. That looks way off. And a defensive board. Kennedy Harris, the true freshman, electric in her last performance. 15 points. Finds the drive and an air ball. Offensive board. That is loose. And look at Joyner fighting for it. Habib the 3. Rolls out. And a tip drill saved by Joyner. But she traveled. And how about the emotions early here, Debbie?
I love the hustle by Joyner. She's got her hands on 2 offensive rebounds, tracked down that ball. She did travel, unfortunately, but this is just great hustle. You see Joyner just track the ball. Coach McNeil telling us they talked about rebounding and doing the work early on the weak side, getting great position, tracking the ball, and coming up with more rebounds. They should be a better rebounding team, and Joyner's a big piece of that.
ECU entered this game bottom 5 in the American in rebounding. George Mason, top 20 in the country. Really good rebounding team. Mitchell lays it down low.
George Mason's leading the Atlantic 10 in rebounding right now. The Atlantic 10 conference is pretty strong this year. Got a box out on the weak side there.
Late in the clock. Mitchell drives. Nice floater. That's way off, affected by the defense.
The East Carolina defense right now is forcing contested outside shots, and that's exactly what this matchup zone wants to do. Great ball pressure, having a difficult time reversing it.
There's Morgan Mosley, first minutes in for the Pirate Reserve, along with Bobby Smith. She drives, blows by Jamison and floats it in.
Bobby Smith had a great freshman year, is continuing it into her sophomore year. She has such a versatile skill set. That's a great baseline drive.
East Carolina, 8 points in the paint early, very aggressive in the first 5 minutes.
They're just attacking the basket.
George Mason struggling with this matchup zone defense early, Debbie.
You got to use the corners, you got to use the short corners, and you got to use the high posts. You need that ball reversal inside and opposite, but they are not having an easy time getting a shot off. Block
Johnson
shot.
the block. Here's transition, Johnson. Into contact, no. Smith threw up a prayer, wanted a foul. Now in transition, Habib. Ahead, Jamison. Whoa, rejected. The human eraser's putting on a show in this first quarter. Amaya Joyner and crew. Good luck getting past her in this first frame. Welcome back to Greenville. George Mason and East Carolina enter this game excellent in forcing turnovers, mistakes early. 6 combined turnovers between these two, which means ball security is hugely important tonight.
It is. You can see East Carolina ranks #1 in the country in forced turnovers per game. George Mason, no slacker at over 20, but Coach Kim McNeil telling us over this exam break that just happened, her team really focused on their half-court defense, getting better in the press and individual work, and you can see just the energized defense, much different than we saw at the start of their last game against Maryland Eastern Shore.
A 14-day break for Kim McNeil's program, and she said, we focused on defense. Yes, scoring had room to grow, but we spent all the time in practice on assignments and discipline defensively.
And you have some new players who are still learning the slides. It gives you time to break it down in the half court, reteach, get better. Clearly, and I just love the ball pressure right now, and they're extending it. They're coming out past that three-point line, really taking vision away.
Leading to a turnover with Bobby Smith's pressure. And as a coach, when you spend those 2 weeks focusing on turnovers, how much does it pay off when you see it here in this first quarter?
It feeds the fire, right? You can just say, look what we practiced, look what we're doing, look how much better we've gotten. It continues to create positive change.
Back-to-back years, ECU top 5 in the country and forcing those turnovers. It's been a staple here for Kim McNeil's program.
They're really working that wing ball screen right now. There's a driving kick by Danae McNeil, a little long on that shot by Micah Dennis.
Last touch by George Mason.
Micah Dennis, the graduate student, she's a transfer from Oklahoma State. She's having a great season as well, averaging almost 9 points a game, leads the team in assists.
Had 6 2 weeks ago against Maryland Eastern Shore.
Go with 5 steals. Really active on both sides of the ball.
There's a good steal from Jamison. Nice distribution. Walton in transition is off. Now a loose one. Look at this tussle. Mosley comes out with it. And a jump ball.
Great hustle by the Pirates. Right now, George Mason is 1 for 10 in field goal attempts. Very atypical for a team that comes into this game 8-1 with their only loss, as you said, to University of Maryland, powerhouse in single digits. They played a great game.
Average scoring 78 a game coming in. This is a really slow start. Credit to Kim McNeil's defense, only surrendering 54 a night. That's in the top 10 in the country. Old Dominion leads the land, 42 points a game given up. Clock to 6. Tough 3 is off. The board tipped out. Second chance, Mitchell. Nice dime, Harris underneath. Walton is jammed, rejected, and a turnover.
Wow, great backline defense by Weiss. East Carolina's zone is just firing on all cylinders right now, and George Mason has got to find a solution. They've got to crack the safe. Really struggling right now.
5-minute scoring drought and a reach-in foul on Kennedy Harris. That'll put ECU in the bonus the rest of the quarter. And you see the line change here from East Carolina, including the freshman Karina Gordon, number 3 in white, her first minutes. And now free throws the rest of the way for the Pirates.
Pirates shooting 70% as a team for the free throw line. That's an improvement from last season. It's good to see.
The big number is free throw attempts for the Pirates. They make 13 a game. They attempt just over 20. And Coach Kim McNeil noted in the offseason, if we want to grow as a team, we have to make our free throws. They were around 60% last year. Leaving a lot of points on the table.
Coach McNeil, the 2023 American Conference Coach of the Year. Her team was picked last in the American last season, and they won the conference tournament, went to the NCAA tournament. What a great job she, her husband Corey, and staff have done building this Pirate program during her tenure here in Greenville.
Kim McNeil said her and her staff spent time with a mental health specialist going over managing expectations, learning to battle some adversity early, and she's liked how her team has responded after a slow start.
Yeah, she's been starting to talk to her team about what matters, and it matters, and everything you do matters, and she's really proud of the fact that her team has a 3.63 GPA as a group. I mean, that is just an incredible statistic. 12 players over 3.5.
And another turnover for us. The academics are strong here for Kim McNeil's team, and it's starting to pay off with that effort defensively.
Yeah, well, the McNeils are all about life skills and what happens after basketball and teaching the players to be well-rounded people, and it's so great to see that achievement in the classroom, and so great to see this pressure defense making things so difficult for George Mason.
George Mason hasn't scored a bucket in 6 minutes.
George Mason with their pesty man-to-man defense. Joyner facing up, little spin move up and under.
Ooh, nice use of the glass, and free throws here for Joyner.
I like how big she got down low on the block and demanded the basketball. She's going to the free throw line.
This is a 7-0 run for ECU. You don't see in college basketball too often an 8-1 team only scored 2 points in a first quarter. Because coming in, George Mason was balanced, 5 in double figures, nearly 80 a night. You see the miss there from Joyner. The big advantage for George Mason coming in was the rebounding, and that's dead even, 10 apiece early. As Joyner makes 1 of 2. How does this extended pressure change things for the Pirates?
And it just continues to apply pressure, and it wears you down physically and mentally and make you have to get that ball across the timeline in 10 seconds. Eats into the shot clock. Sometimes it gives open threes in the corner, and we have a quick foul right there.
Weiss almost had to stick her leg out in self-defense, saving the layup. It's her second, so she'll sub out. And her twin sister comes in, Tatiana Weiss.
It's a set of twins transferring from Florida, gives the Pirates some much-needed size. They graduated a lot of size. If there was anything left last season, it was size.
1 of 10 twin combinations in the country. Good blow by. Harris floats.
The missing continues. 0 of their last 12.
Another contested outside jump shot. East Carolina defense is forcing exactly what they want right now. High screen, attack the basket.
Johnson was stripped on the way up, and that's off of Sunia Johnson. Good defense there by Harris.
Really good defense. Both teams forcing turnovers right now. You see the high screen right here.
Oh,
able to get a hand on the ball.
From Harris. Yeah.
Well done.
Like a mouse in the house. You just don't see him, and all of a sudden they poke the ball away.
He's a really talented freshman.
Here's Harris. Not only the steal, but a bucket. First one in 6 minutes for George Mason.
Oh, that's where you want to get the ball against the press to the middle. Harris has that smooth jump shot. She's a 3-level scorer. She's just a blue-collar player. Had a great senior year of high school. She committed to George Mason as a junior when she came on her campus visit. Just like Coach Blair Lewis in the program so much. And then she had a great senior year at Hampton High School and buckets for the Pirates.
What a find from Amaya Joyner. That's great vision.
That post-to-post pass, you see Joyner, she sees her post buddy on the back cut and she delivers that pass perfectly. And we were talking about Joyner's passing in the last game, that she just wasn't putting it on target, and that could not have been prettier. A beautiful bounce pass right into the hands of White, and she's going for the three-point play.
9th assist this year for Joyner. And Weiss finishes off the three-point play. Largest lead for the Pirates tonight, who scored just over 40 points when these teams met last year. It was, Kim McNeil described, her worst offensive game of the season. And nearly a steal forced here by Weiss.
Weiss coming out of the back line, making that happen.
George Mason struggling to handle this pressure early. 5 turnovers.
East Carolina has definitely set the tempo and the complexion of this game.
Here's more pressure and a reach-in foul.
Sunia Johnson's going to get called for that, the senior. She's so active on the defensive end. She loves to play the top of that half-court defense.
And that's a risk-reward as a coach, right? You'll live with some of those fouls.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. I mean, she's just putting good pressure. They're trying to set the trap on the sideline. A lot of times, out of sideline inbounds, you'll see a press come from the Pirates.
Forcing 28 turnovers a game. Harris forces a deep 2. And that rolls out. George Mason only shooting 2 of 17 tonight.
Joyner got her hand on that rebound and kicked it out to her teammate. She's got great position right now.
Here's Joyner.
You see the roll and replace. Really
Lost
looking for that post game
pass. This is a big final minute. George Mason needs to get its offense going. 4 turnovers in this quarter, or in the last 8 minutes.
I think for George Mason, they just want to get out of this quarter, take a little break. Coach will talk to her team and talk about how to attack the zone, but really credit East Carolina with the way they've come out to start this game.
Harris shoots the 3. Can't hit. Weiss, a big board. And now ECU in transition. Dennis. What a find to Joyner, who missed it. Second chance in. How about the effort in transition?
I love how Joyner ran the floor, took the first shot, followed her shot, got a rebound, and put it back in. She's having the best game we've seen her play so far this year. Love the effort and the focus.
5 points, 4 rebounds, a couple assists. Smith will hold for the final shot. Sonia doubled. Gets it out. Great dribble, and that's rejected. What a defensive stand by ECU, only giving up 4 points in that first quarter.
Wow, we wondered how this one was going to go, but it's East Carolina coming out with great defense to start this game. Great transition. My Joyner gets her own shot, puts it back in. Pirates by 12.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
Both East Carolina basketball programs supporting kids at the local Maynard's Children's Hospital. You guys got to listen to this. This is some good stuff. Spreading the holiday cheer and making some kids' days last week. Debbie, that's the best part of college basketball, connecting to the community.
Things you can do off the court in your community. You know, the players, the coaching staff, they're so beloved, and it's just wonderful that Coach McNeil gets her team out to the Children's Hospital to share some holiday joy. A couple of not bad voices in the crew either.
I was saying you and I should sing next time.
That could be dangerous.
Because all I want for Christmas is hoops. College hoops, best time of the year. Ken McNeil focused on those first quarter stats. Only surrendering 4 points. That's a season low in a first quarter for George Mason.
George Mason right now is 2 for 19 from the floor. That's 10%. Going high-low. It's a beautiful play. ATO.
2 great assists for Joyner today.
Yep. Post up the guard. I love that. Joyner, she's a good pass. She's got the vision.
Played point guard at nearby Farmville High School. And a block for Joyner. That'll stay here. Her effort on both ends has been impressive tonight.
She's really been impressive. And you know, you see how she has the ability to alter shots. And there has not been a shot that George Mason has taken tonight that's been easy. East Carolina's size under the basket is bothering them. And then the pressure on the perimeter is really bothering their ability to move the ball and have any kind of vision.
There's a steal for Dennis. McNeil, nice look to Joyner, who runs the lane and gets the roll.
Mai's firing at all cylinders. She is one of the best players in the American Conference. I love how she got out, just ran that floor. Beautiful pass by McNeil.
Livid in transition. The Pirates 12 points in the paint early. Sonia Smith blows by and a blocking foul on Weish. And look at the effort here of Maya Joyner.
Got the forced turnover, the lead pass to McNeil, and McNeil picks her head up. Joyner runs the floor, catches, and just lays that little reverse in for another transition bucket. Thanking her teammate, I love it.
She's off to see the Wizard of Oz with that type of effort running down the lane. We have a foul here on East Carolina defending the inbounds.
That was Sania Johnson. She kind of had her arms wrapped around.
Not the only thing getting wrapped this week.
You are so quick.
What do you want for Christmas this year, Debbie? What's on your mind?
Money.
You know what? I'll give you a gift card. How about that? The gift that keeps on giving.
I want world peace.
Yeah, that's a great gift this time of year. Assistant coach Corey McNeil asking for an explanation. The husband and assistant coach of Kim.
We talked to Coach Kim about Coach Corey, and she said, you know, it's so great to have him because he's another head coach. He's a head coach in the waiting, but she can leave her team with Corey, and the girls, he relates to them so well. He's such a great teacher and motivator. I went to a practice a couple of years ago when they were assistants at Virginia, and he just gets out there and plays and sweats and works with the girls. But it's nice to have that other head coach. What a luxury for Coach Kim to have.
Not only a partner in life, but a partner on the coaching staff. Stifling defense early here for ECU, and McNeil rips it away. Lands into Jamison's hands.
George Mason has just run into a buzzsaw, and the question is now, how do you stop the bleeding? Feed the middle of the zone.
Whoa, Joyner, the paw of a rejection. Dennis with numbers.
Strip from behind. Good hands from Walton.
She thought about it. There really wasn't enough space. You got to run the lanes wide and spread the floor. You're allowed one defender to guard 2 people on that one. You got another great defensive play here by Joyner. Look at that long arms. Another block for the sophomore.
That's Edward Scissorhands-esque. No chance getting through it, and a missed layup on the other end.
Like the slip. There's a foul.
So this foul. Okay, that is on Doster. So the trip there, that could have gone either way. Benefits the Pirates this time.
It shows how physical. I like that out of bounds play. It was a nice read on the defense by Weiss. She slipped. She just missed the easy layup.
George Mason going to make a sub here. Amy O'Hara out of Hoppers Crossing, Australia. Australia and Spain, the 2 countries represented here for George Mason.
If your team is struggling, you got to find an answer. So go to your bench and see if somebody else. She's going to have to put some size in right now. And she went to Amy O'Hara. She's a 6'3" sophomore. A little more size under the basket. We'll see if she's able to impose her will.
Good coverage on that pass, and it goes the other way. Because Smith there actually floated back and guarded the pass as opposed to the drive.
Yeah, it was nice defense there. McNeil trying to feed Joyner, who's playing so well right now. See the extended defense here. Picking up at half court.
George Mason is 2 for 21 tonight. Something's got to change. Harris blows by, and Joyner gets a piece of it. O'Hara there to clean it up. Good work on the boards.
They went with the double high screen, and they were able to get into the heart of the defense. Joyner blocked it, but O'Hara picked it up, scored it. They needed that bucket. Horn set again. Going that high-low again.
Joyner triggers a 3 and is off. A rare miss for the Pirates in this second quarter.
Here comes Mason in transition.
Smith, tough floater, earns the foul. And that's for Sonia Smith's special, getting to the free throw line.
George Mason is a really good transition team, and credit the Pirates. They haven't been able to get their transition going.
This matchup has always been tight, dating back to the 80s and 90s in the CAA. But last year, you look at that final score. George Mason dominated in the second half, and Kim McNeil noted their worst offensive performance for the ECU Pirates.
She didn't like the way they defended either, so she really talked about some adjustments to their defense this year and how they were going to play them a little bit differently, and you can see the result of that right now. The ball pressure, not allowing the reversal, being higher in the passing lanes, not just sitting back in the gaps.
Sonia Smith had 13 in that win for George Mason, who made it to the second round of the Atlantic 10 tournament. Joyner, nice behind the back. Oh, look at the ball movement here. McNeil for 3 is off. And Joyner taps it to herself. Spin move. The effort of Amaya Joyner. This is fun to watch tonight.
She is working on the glass, and she's working on the defensive end. And those are 2 things she can always control, her effort. And just watch this long-range shot by McNeil. And Joyner's been getting a hand on everything. She just taps it to herself, pounds the dribble, and goes up strong. I like how strong she's being with the ball. She's a presence tonight.
Joyner as a freshman set ECU records. That's the most rebounds of any ECU freshman at 300. She was all freshman team, all conference as well, and the growth is really coming along tonight.
And she was the American Conference Rookie of the Year, and you know, we've been wanting her this year to develop more of the next play mentality. If something doesn't go her way, just to keep playing, and she's really come out tonight and has been impressive, both in her game, mentally, physically, playing with her teammates.
Had 13 double-doubles last year and is halfway there, 7 and 5 in this first half. George Mason trying to break this press. Good job. And then a sloppy pass there from Harris.
And what the presses they've been able to do is speed George Mason up. So even though they were able to find the middle, the extra pass went out of bounds. That's going to let George Mason, are they going to set their press up? They like to press as well. Just a little full court ball pressure. Kennedy Harris.
Both these teams top 30 in the country in turnover margin, yet tonight, high turnover numbers. Mosley 1v1. And offensive. That is on Mosley on the screen, the handoff.
It's almost like Danae McNeil came too soon. And I don't know, that's an interesting call, but Mosley turned. She's going to get called for a moving screen on the handoff.
That puts the Pirates one foul away from the bonus with 7 minutes to go in the quarter. Let's see how aggressive George Mason is off of that.
They're going with the double high post screen.
Off on the 3. Oh, Habib on the board. Couldn't hit the layup. And now pressure. Harris dives for it, wants a timeout, and gets the wish granted.
That's exactly what Mason needs now, that extra effort, the hustle plays, the offensive rebounds, the loose balls, second chance opportunities on the offensive end.
Kennedy Harris getting after it on the court. And that's a true freshman who set her career high 15 points in her last game. We'll take this timeout, come back and wrap up the second quarter when we return. Welcome back to Greenville. Great non-conference matchup tonight. Two top 100 programs in the net. This game summary is brought to you by Grady White Boats. Big story so far, George Mason struggling to hit shots from the field.
Well, 3 for 25 is a coach's nightmare. And you really have to credit the East Carolina defense. They are making everything that Mason does on the offensive end difficult. Every forced contested jump shot Mason ran was they're going to have to crash the boards, take care of the ball, attack the basket, and East Carolina now one foul away from sending them to the free throw line.
And yet, ECU with the 7 blocks, they forced the 8 turnovers. And if you're Vanessa Blair-Lewis needing to find answers, no player with more than 2 points tonight for the Patriots.
They're really struggling to score. The interior defense, 7 blocks, and we're not even to halftime. Incredible.
Remember, 12 players get 10 or more minutes for George Mason. 4 in double figures coming in, but no answers tonight. Jamison, nice pass, leads to a 3. Smith rattles it out.
It's a nice job penetrating the gap, kicking out to an open shooter, but unable to get it to drop.
Here's Dennis. You see Joyner there back and forth, fighting for position. She's lived in the lane.
She's got a mismatch. Going back to the high-low look.
McNeil with 8, enters the lane. Good move, that's off. Joyner the board, and the second chance efforts. 8 points, 7 boards for Joyner.
Right now, all you gotta do is get it up on the glass, and Mai's going after it.
She's been a beast on the glass today, nearing her season high in rebounds, and we're in the first half. Smith tripped on the way in and a foul. So free throws the rest of the way here for George Mason.
That's where you want to get the ball, get it into the free throw line because it makes the back line come up, and then you're playing one-on-one.
It's a George Mason team that is off to its best start since 17-18, and that team won 25 games. The big key, though, is the bench. 36 points off the bench. And the scoring defense really good too. Tonight just struggling to get buckets going offensively.
They do, but Coach Blair Lewis telling us how unselfish her team is. And when you have 16 players and players that share minutes, you just have to be in it for each other. And this team has really found success by playing multiple players and being unselfish.
Vanessa Blair Lewis notes the Ubuntu mentality, thinking back to Nelson Mandela and the apartheid, and this team bonding and chemistry. When you have 12 women on the court, everyone playing, and that ability to come together and work as a unit.
Ubuntu means I am, therefore we are. And like you said, Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, and she's really instilled that in her team. If you have a car, you have a ride. If I have a car, you have a ride. It's sharing, and they've bought into it. They share minutes, they share the ball. Right now, they're having a difficult time stopping my Joyner,
who is sharing the love herself. 12 points, 7 boards for Joyner.
She's been a dominating presence. We knew she had that in her. Really the best performance she's had so far this year, and we're not even to the half.
And another turnover for George Mason. That's 9 giveaways. This is a George Mason team that will play 12 deep. All 12 will get 10 or more minutes, but right now struggling to find that continuity on the court.
Yeah, Coach Blair Lewis trying to find an answer, putting some more subs in, seeing who can give her what she needs. She's got to stop the post play. She's got to stop the turnovers. Got a post-to-post screen. Nice defense there on the post-to-post screen.
That's Jasmine Doster stepping in front.
Jasmine Doster, she started playing basketball in high school and really as a graduate student at Lake Taylor, Virginia Beach. Just a great defensive presence.
Look at that effort there on Joyner, right in her grill. And Dennis able to save it just by the hair on her chinny chin chin. 6 on the clock. Joyner floats it in. Tough pressure, and there's Doster all over it. Now a steal, McNeil. What a spin, and a blocking foul. So Danae McNeil making things happen on the drive.
No, physical play, and then trying to pound that ball down low. Probably not the best pass. Good defense by Mason. They're going to take the high-low away. Post players really working. There's the deflection. The ball gets on the floor, but who comes up with it? But Danae McNeil, and she attacks the basket, draws the foul. Well, she goes down hard.
You're right. McNeil took some contact. This Pirate program have found their footing back at home. This is a 3-game home win streak, largely due to the turnovers forced. 3rd in the country in steals. And McNeil is right up there with them, 2nd in steals in the country.
She's one of the best on both sides of the ball. Really a complete player. But East Carolina hangs their hat on their defense, creating offense with their defense, forcing those turnovers, and they have made it happen tonight.
And that's 2 free points because of the hands of McNeil. She anchors this stout defensive unit. Here's a kick out to Harris. Much needed 3 off. Loose board to Bobby Smith with some pressure. Tipped. Harris gets the layup. Nice bounce for the Patriots.
Extra effort by the freshman. That's the first easy shot we've seen George Mason take in a long time. Nice feed inside to Joyner, and she's going to the line.
Joyner's making a living at the free throw line. Attempts 5 and 6 tonight.
And I love how she's running the floor and demanding the basketball. She's being a rim runner right now, and it's paying off for her.
This big lineup, 2 forwards in for the Pirates. They are dominating in the paint. 16 points down there.
Coach McNeil telling us they needed to use their size, and they're doing that. And then she said they needed to rebound better, and they are certainly doing that. So sometimes time off for exam breaks. You know, she says you were able to give the players 2 days off. It's great for the coaches to have 2 days off too, and that the head coach is out recruiting. But that break and that learning time, and that downtime sometimes makes an incredible difference.
7 games in double figures for Joyner. She looks rejuvenated tonight offensively. On this end of the court, though, no answers for George Mason.
They went to a 1-4 high set. They're trying a little bit of everything right now, able to get the ball into the heart of the defense, but the length.
Is this the volleyball championships tonight? Is that Texas putting on a show with a block party? Instead, Mitchell over the block, affected by Joyner. Wow, these long arms of the Pirates are making things happen defensively.
The rim protection has just been amazing. McNeil, long range.
Off on the 3. Look at this loose ball. Weiss is out of bounds, able to save it. And it's one thing to have athletes in size. ECU is using that size to their advantage.
They really are. They're just, their timing's on. They're closing up the space around the rim. There's no good looks. And I feel like Danae McNeil right now maybe is forcing a shot or two. You know, she's so used to scoring points, but right now her team is really doing okay without her putting up volume numbers.
Entered this game 5th in the country, 21 a night, only has 7, but hasn't needed to score as much. Good move, Suarez, and she's short. Joyner nearly a double-double in this first half, 14 and 8 for the sophomore. Joyner fighting for space, shows off the moves, battles it out.
I like the face-up, though. Nice footwork.
Adds an element to her game offensively. Oh, good crossover, better pass, and Joyner's having none of it. Good luck getting past the brick wall.
So every time George Mason gets in there, and you watch, this is great dribble penetration by Taylor Jamison, the beautiful dish, but there's my Joyner just there to swat it away. It's just, no, not today. Another block for the Pirates.
9 blocks for ECU. And it must be so frustrating as an offensive player. Every time you go up, you figure it might get swatted.
Well, that's why this zone is so difficult. You almost have to pull up. Once you get past the first line, you got to pull up before you get into the land of the Giants.
In their last game, this is back on December 4th, the Pirates took advantage of those points off turnovers. It was a very tight first 3 quarters. And then Danae McNeil took over with a career high of 34.
It was really not a pretty first half. And East Carolina, they weren't playing with a lot of energy. They certainly weren't playing their best basketball. In the second half, they go into the locker room, come back out, and it's 51-26 in the second half, so they secure the win. But McNeil, what a great performance. She had to keep her team in that game.
Danae is now 20 points from 1,000 in her career with the 7 tonight. We'll keep an eye on that in the second half. George Mason only 6 points in the second quarter. Ooh, good job holding the pivot foot for Walton.
I mean, we had a deflection stat. East Carolina's getting their hands on everything, and again, forcing
Harris gets the lovely bounce.
I like Harris. What a talented freshman she is out of Hampton High School. They just have a storied program, but wow, State 4A Player of the Year. What a great get for Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis.
Who signed as a junior in high school, kind of beat the recruiting process because she shined as a senior. Great point. Look at the effort defensively. And that's a defensive foul. Interesting. Could have gone either way, but Dennis will earn the free throws.
I like Harris, though, applying some ball pressure. She's a really solid defender for a freshman. She averaged 31 points, 8 steals, and 4 assists in high school. She had numerous Power 5 offers. I mean, she played for the Fairfax Stars, their great AAU program. Like you said, her senior year, after committing her junior year, her senior year really turned it on. But it committed to George Mason and stuck with it.
It's been a huge get for Vanessa Blair-Lewis. 4 freshmen, 5 sophomores on this young team. And these free throws make it a 17-point lead.
They let the Pirates get back in their 1-2-2 full court press.
Look at this pressure looking to cause havoc. Suarez, lovely dime, and this one's loose. Now a WWE sprawl and a jump ball keeps it here. Every time the ball goes in the lane, the Pirates have magnet hands. They're just finding their way over the basketball.
And they're just getting on the floor too, and I like that. Suarez, who's just she's from Spain. She's got this European style of play. She has such great floor vision. And Coach Vanessa telling us, I wish I played with Suarez. You know, she just is a pass first kind of point guard, and at 6 feet, it gives her great vision. But she really struggled tonight.
Could find a Harris. George Mason needs a bucket here. Jamison off on the 3. So the Patriots only shooting 15% tonight.
I like that decision by Danae to slow it down. Good job by Suarez to get over that high screen.
Here's the size mismatch down low. Instead of 3, ooh, way off. Jamison has it. Good find, Habib. Attacks. Hangs on. Nice kick. Harris the 3. That's off. Pirates want to run. And McNeil wisely pulls it up.
East Carolina have been taking some long-range shots. Like to see them use the clock a little bit. Find a high percentage shot. Was working for them early, the high-low game. Feed the post.
That is offensive. Good defense there by Jamison to draw the foul.
And Micah Dennis through threw Jamison's arm off, and the official was all over that one. And that little battle has been going on between number 1 and number 0.
Those guards have been chippy all night. This has an old school feel to it. Two clubs top 100 in the net rankings, and both strong defensively coming in. Points are hard to come by here in Greenville. Suarez, nice look. Jamison the kick. Here's the freshman, missing the 3. And George Mason, 1 of 13 from deep.
5 of 35 from the floor. That's almost unheard of. 14%.
Pirates haven't hit a field goal in 4 minutes as we approach the final of this first half. Look at this guard battle getting after it.
I love the pressure Jamison's putting on the ball. McNeil with a little isolation up top.
Offensive. That pesky guard, Kennedy Harris, she's been everywhere tonight.
They're doing a great job limiting Danae McNeil, and we said somebody was going to have to step up and help her tonight, and she's getting help from the team. You know, everybody's helping in the scoring. Mike Joyner especially having a fantastic game on both sides of the ball.
Dennis with 2 fouls. McNeil earns her first. George Mason won part 1 of this rivalry by 13 last year. Minute to play in the first half, and a tip keeps it here. Harris has 7, but no one with more than 2 points to support her tonight.
George Mason clearly just frustrated, really struggling to get a good look at the basket.
Nice pass from Suarez.
Running sets, they're just not. East Carolina's everywhere.
Good ball. Open 3, nope. There's a block and a foul on Weish. That'll send George Mason to the free throw line.
Another block by Joyner, and you know, at this point in the game, it's not a surprise. She's running at you and she wants to block your shot, so catch it, give her a shot fake, take a dribble, and go by her. You got to get a little smarter when you have a great defender like that who has such long arms.
That's 10 first half blocks for the Pirates. And George Mason, this was 9 days ago, absolutely dominated Mount St. Mary's. Little different story tonight.
They've been playing so very well this season. I mean, they've built this program in the 3 years that they've been in Fairfax. Like we said, a great game with Maryland, a single-digit loss.
That's the lone loss for George Mason. Ranked in the 60s in the net coming in. Now a 16-point game.
Yeah, but they've been stifled coming in here to Minges Coliseum, and they have yet to find an answer to this pressure defense by East Carolina.
Look at Jamison getting her feet involved. That is a high-intensity player. I love it.
I love Taylor Jamison. She's from Wichita, Kansas. She's listed as 5'5", but clearly she's not. And Coach Blair Lewis asked her to take a different role this year after being a starter for most of her career. Said, would you come off the bench? And she comes in and she provides that spark.
Now she's in the face of Miller and draws the foul.
And she is trying to will them back into this game by herself. Senior leadership.
Taylor Jamison's a spark plug.
She's just everywhere. She's right now the passion of this team. You can see the shoulder dip. She's fired up, and that's what they need. George Mason needs that fire to cut into this lead. They need a bucket here.
Final 20 seconds of the first half. A 3-minute scoring drought for the Patriots.
Suarez is going to take this down right under 10, getting the high screen, the floater.
That is short. Weiss the rebound. Has time. Gordon gets it off and is short. That was an entertaining final 2 minutes, but East Carolina in control, up 16 at halftime. It was a block party for Joyner tonight. She's nearing a double-double in this first half. When we come back, we'll break it all down in Greenville.
But now let's take a look here at the women's side, the women's media preseason poll. And here we've got South Florida at the top runner.
I don't think ever in my life I've been picked last at anything. It was a very hard pill to swallow, but I knew what we had, coming back. I knew what we had gotten off the portal. I knew the freshmen that we had, so I knew we weren't going to finish last.
Finally into McNeil. 3 seconds. McNeil forces it up for the lead. Out of bounds and no good, and SMU survives.
It's funny, I've just recently gone back and watched this game. We weren't ready to win a game like that yet. After that game was over with, in the past, I would have come in the locker room and it would have been a team that was probably shaken and would give up at that point. I think that's the game where they realized that they could win in this league and they could be a true contender in this league.
3, no good. That will count. East Carolina overcomes it.
Well, first watching this clip just sends chills through me. To hear the crowd chanting ECU, it just makes me so proud. I always say to my teams, it's not about how you start the season. And it's really not where you are in the middle of the season. It's how you finish it. And that's really where you want to be playing your best basketball. A triple overtime win against a really, really good Houston team that makes you play very, very ugly. Just tremendously proud of this team and what they did and just where the program is.
Celebrations, what's going through your mind right now?
They picked us last. They picked us last. And now we're going dancing. We're going dancing.
How many times have you seen that interview since that game?
A lot.
Does it get old?
No. And I've heard it a lot too. Just like being out recruiting and seeing other coaches and saying, hey, we're with you. I've been picked last before. It's kind of inspirational. But I get emotional again just watching this all over again, just thinking about where this program has come and how far we've grown. In the past it was just talk. Now it's not talk. It's real. It's realistic. It's real. We can win another championship, and that's our goal from here on out. We're building a championship program, and we're extremely excited about the season. To me, it doesn't matter where they pick us. Because as we proved last year, it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about where you end.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gaskins. I like when this game gets a little physical and chippy late in the half, too.
Yeah.
Makes it more fun when that animosity kicks in a little bit. That was the lone 3.
All good, baby. Thank you.
back to Minges Coliseum here in Greenville. ECU up 16 over George Mason. This is a defensive battle tonight and a great first half of basketball. With Debbie Taylor, I'm Evan Budrovich. This is a physical basketball game. ECU 16 points in the paint and 10 blocks in that first half. How has the physicality helped out the Pirates?
I mean, the Pirates worked on their defense over the exam break, and this has been a defensive clinic. They have not allowed George Mason to get a good look at the basket. They're holding a very good George Mason team to 13% shooting from the floor. It's been an incredible defensive performance. George Mason entered in with balanced scoring, but really no answers tonight. 1 of 14 from 3. And then ECU feeding Amaya Joyner early and often in this one. And it's been an Amaya Joyner show, and she's really playing her best basketball right now. She's playing blocking shots on the defensive end, demanding the ball on the offensive end. It's been a really impressive performance by the sophomore. Let's roll those highlights, because Joyner is rolling nearly a double-double in that first half. And offensively, ECU worked the ball down low in that first quarter. Well, they knew they had the height advantage, so they set the pace early by going inside to the post. And there's one of George Mason's early and few buckets. Danae McNeil getting off out of the gate from a 3 in the corner. Bobby Jones attacking the baseline and laying it in the rim. And East Carolina did a nice job attacking the basket early. That's a great job beating the press, getting it to the freshman in the middle of the floor. But then the East Carolina transition game got it going, and Joyner has been ferocious on the boards. You mean the one-woman wrecking crew? I mean, and then she's with that beautiful assist, perfect placement of that pass, post to post. Another beautiful high-low pass assist, Amaya Joyner. There's the nice ball movement. There's the nice friendly roll for Kennedy Harris, the freshman who's really played fairly well in the first half, but Amaya Joyner's been everywhere and everything for the Pirates. Nearly a triple-double for Joyner, 14, 8, and 6, and this is in 20 minutes. Now, the key number, you see that three-point woes, 1 of 14, and then the Pirate block, 10 of them down low. That's just made it tough for George Mason. The Pirates have just been rim protectors. So every time you get past that first line, if you attack a gap in that matchup zone, you got to pull up and shoot it. If you take it into the lands of the Giants, the Pirates have just been having a holiday down there blocking shots. The gift that keeps on giving, 10 team blocks. Remember, Joyner only had 12 blocks all year entering this game, and she has 6 in a first half. That's hard to fathom in 20 minutes. You get to see tonight what an incredible athlete she is, and she's been learning the game. She was freshman of the year in the American. She has good nights, she has bad nights. She rides an emotional roller coaster, but tonight you're seeing if you can combine talent with a high motor with really strong mental and emotional stability, look what you get. You get a superstar. That's a physical and entertaining first 20 minutes. We'll come back for the second half when we return here to Minges Coliseum. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Please welcome back to the floor your ECU Pirates.
Definitely. Welcome back to Greenville. ECU putting on a defensive clinic, up 16 at halftime, and part of that effort's been defensively. 25 combined turnovers. These clubs are making it hard to dribble.
We came in and we said the Pirates were #1 in the country in forced turnovers, and they did not disappoint. They forced 10 turnovers in the first half and made everything difficult for George Mason. We're not even counting the deflections, the balls that they've gotten their hands on, but George Mason was just out of sync. They couldn't find a rhythm because of the ball pressure, great defense, and incredible rim protection.
You see blocks and turnovers forced. That got George Mason out of rhythm. And then the Pirates, to their credit in transition, led by Amaya Joyner, took advantage in those moments.
Well, if you combine great defense with great play by Amaya Joyner, that is a winning combination for East Carolina, and is a big part of this 16-point lead.
Entering this game, you see the numbers there, but they were forcing a ton of turnovers. And then Joyner, 14 points. She was dominant in the first half.
You get to see her versatility at 6'2" and only a sophomore. She can post up, she can pass the basketball, she can block shots, she can run the floor, and today she came to work. She's been dominating on the boards and on the defensive end, blocking shot after shot after shot, making things difficult down low, and finding her teammates with the assist.
Nearly a triple-double in that first half for Joyner. Something she's never accomplished here at ECU, so something to watch in the second half.
I think if she plays like this, she's going to have many in her career. She's so hard to guard because of her versatility, her physical stature, and just her athleticism and talent.
Big first half for the sophomore. And now her Pirates start with the basketball.
You know, George Mason went into that locker room and made some adjustments, and let's see, they're a very good team who do not play well in the first half, and let's see if they come out. They're going to that play again to post up to Nay McNeil against a much smaller Taylor Jamison,
who has drawn 3 offensive fouls in this game.
She did a great job moving her feet, getting around.
Here's Joyner 1v1, and draws an early foul. The confidence early here of Joyner is important to see.
It's good footwork. She's just a little reverse pivot. She faces up, and then she immediately quickly attacks. O'Hara draws the foul.
Already 14 points for Joyner. Wants to add a few more. And we talked about McNeil in the open. She'll score 21 a night, but that secondary scoring has been needed here for ECU.
It's been inconsistent for a couple of years now, and so if you can get McNeil and Joyner both scoring at a good clip and then get support from the rest of the team, this is a very different East Carolina team.
More like the team that won 20-plus games a year ago, tournament champions in the AAC. Suarez able to break the pressure. George Mason team only 1 loss, and that was a single-digit battle against Maryland. And good hands there by McNeil.
See how difficult East Carolina is making ball reversal. It's part of the game plan. Don't let the ball move easily. Last year, Mason in this game was really effective with their ball movement, capitalized against the defense. Long range shot again, still no go for the Patriots.
1 of 15 from deep tonight. That's a season low. And now Jamison, like a pest in the eyes of McNeil.
She really is. All over the ball.
Oh, good step through Habib, the steal. George Mason, though, unable to capitalize in transition. Ooh, and a pass to her own coach. And that's the type of mental stress that ECU is putting George Mason under.
Well, playing against the pressure all night does it. It wears you down physically and mentally. I like to see East Carolina use a little more ball fakes out of the high post when they're staring it down. It's too easy to guard.
Here's Sania Johnson, team captain. And George Mason daring her to shoot. So the lob entry and a foul on Habib underneath. That was where East Carolina had success getting George Mason into foul trouble in the first quarter.
Yeah, they've got the size advantage. Part of their game plan was to go after it, take advantage of it, feed the post. I like how the post players look for each other. Joyner with the pull-up.
What a start. 18 for Joyner tonight. That ties your season best.
Just playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of consistency.
5 of 6 of 9 shooting now. Efficient as well. Look at the pressure on Suarez. Dribbles through 3 and it's stolen. Joyner gives it back. Habib. That bullet is off. Ooh, and Joyner actually fights for the board. Good speed, Dennis. Nice look, but through the hands of McNeil. Moving a little too fast in transition. Only 4 fast break points for the Pirates. This at the end of the court that's been stifling. The top 30 defense in the country holding George Mason to 14. Make it 17. Habib answers.
Habib with the long range shot, but that's about all the looks they're getting right now. And now 2 for 16, 12% from behind the arc. They needed that one. The Pirates are going to have to continue to play with this intensity on both sides of the ball. Can't afford back-to-back turnovers.
Habib in transition. Weiss. Whoa, it blocks in. Nice job off the window.
And George Mason is too good of a team. If you give them a window, they're going to take it. And East Carolina has to do a better job on the offensive end, continuing to do what they did in the first half.
Now the pressure from Suarez. Johnson runs into it. Ooh, a foul is called. There's a lot of contact and a foul, no jump ball. The referees confer here. Okay, so Suarez called for the reach.
Suarez has just really been flustered most of this game. She's usually such a floor general for them, but East Carolina has made her night really difficult.
That's 3 fouls for George Mason early. Here's Joyner riding an 18-point showcase. McNeil pressured. Jamison's been in her grill all night.
Jamison is one tough defender, boy. She's been impressive.
Oh, Suarez the block. This is a live ball. Continues in transition. And Vanessa Blair-Lewis claiming, and I actually agree with her, that they had possession before the shot clock expired. Instead, it'll be ruled a dead ball.
That's a shame because that was an easy 2. One of the easiest 2s of the night for the Patriots. The ball's going to come back here over half court right in front of us. Pirates are getting a little sloppy here to start the third quarter.
Kaya Miller enters defensively for ECU, the freshman.
1-4 high set. George Mason trying to find a way to attack.
Oh, Johnson's hands brilliant. Miller in transition, lays it strong and earns the foul. So the freshman to the line.
Kaya Miller, the 5'10 freshman from Woodbridge, Virginia. Another big-time recruit for East Carolina. She gets out in transition, takes it herself, draws the foul. You can see the body clip right there. So between Mai Joyner and Kaya Miller, 2 top 100 recruits in back-to-back years.
Gordon and Miller getting big minutes tonight for Kim McNeil. Complimenting a team that was picked 2nd in the American Athletic. So there's young talent along with veteran experience. And McNeil noted every other night it's Gordon or Miller who will give us a big game. She'll need one from either tonight. And George Mason catches a break, 0 for 2 on the free throws. Suarez has it tipped. Habib comes out with it. Look at this daunting pressure. Suarez down low. Nice drive, Doster, and missed it. Second chance, blocked out of bounds.
That was a chippy. Jasmine Doster missed. They need those. They're going to chip away at this lead and get back in the game. It's a beautiful pass. She just doesn't use the backboard.
A point-blank miss for Doster. Good handoff. Suarez uses the shot fake and is short. Johnson in transition. Oh, nice pass. McNeil running the lane.
9 points for Danae.
That was a textbook 3-on-2. Great floor spacing, running the wings wide. Nice bounce pass to McNeil for the finish.
Good fall, and Suarez has a miss. Doster can't hit. She's been right there in a couple of layups and free throws here.
You see this Pirates able to get out in transition. 3-on-2, great look away, a nice pass. And Danae McNeil finishes it at the rim.
1 point away from being in double figures for Danae. And the Weiss sisters will sub out. Talia enters for Tatiana.
It's a nice job by Suarez there, getting into the heart of the defense for the pass.
Niku Mitchell will enter for George Mason. She's the Baltimore, Maryland product. Big free throws here for Doster. Doster will take every second of those 10 allotted on that free throw.
She's a great student too. She got her undergrad in computer science, and now she's getting her graduate degree in business analytics. She's number 6 in career blocks in George Mason's history. She's had a great career for the Patriots.
Chasing Tristan Bruning. She could actually catch her this week for top 5 blocks. Enter the game 3 short. And the ball will stay here. So Doster will take a breather. And Walton enters, known as Zaza around the program. Good find underneath. Walton trapped and a turnover.
George Mason is a team that averages over 77 points a game. Top in the Atlantic 10 in scoring average. Right now they have 19 points midway through the third quarter.
Look at that pressure from Mitchell. Joyner reversal, no. Johnson the board. She goes up. No. Joyner, yes. A double-double for Joyner.
She's unstoppable. When she works like this, when she gets on the glass like this, she's just unstoppable.
That's a season high 20 for Joyner and a blocking foul here on Miller. But that effort and that second level for Joyner, this is fun to watch.
It's amazingly fun to watch. She's only halfway through her sophomore year. The potential of Maya Joyner is tremendous.
3 points away from her career best. That was as a freshman last year. We're seeing next level play from Maya Joyner tonight. Maybe 14 days is the key. 2 weeks between games.
A nice rest. Nice for young players too. The mental rest is just as important as the physical rest.
Here's a steal. McNeil running. Oh, good step through. Whoa, McNeil off the window. And a timeout.
McNeil gets going. It's going to get dangerous in here.
So McNeil with 11, Joyner has 20, and those two are taking over, Debbie.
Danae McNeil gets out in transition. She is incredibly dangerous at the basket. Count it.
Welcome back to Greenville. Here's what's cooking around the American Conference. That's a big score tonight. Charleston Southern up on American team Charlotte. And keep an eye out, UTSA, who's 5-3. Elisa Coleman leads the league in block shots. Well, she's watching Amaya Joyner tonight, blocking 7 in this game. It's been a block party here in Greenville. George Mason struggling with his pressure. Just get it across. And Suarez saves it.
Another deflection.
Jamison, give her that big 3. Stops a 6-0 run.
I like Taylor Jamison, man. She is one mentally tough Energizer bunny.
A timeout here for East Carolina as that pressure was building. We'll take the media timeout in an 18-point game here in Greenville. Welcome back to Greenville. Big week in the American, these news and notes. The Mean Green winning machine, great caption. So not only the best scorer in the league, Tamira Poindexter, 22 a game, but a great start at 10-1. And Tulsa's right up there with them. Mia Moore of UAB, a 4-time honor roll selection in this conference, and nearly a double-double on the boards.
Wow, 10 rebounds a game, impressive. Whoa.
There's Joyner giving it away, and a foul from Weish. So this is where George Mason, in the first half, struggled to do anything in transition. They're starting to settle into this game in the third quarter.
Well, they need possessions, and they're going to bring their press. They're a pressing team, and they haven't had a lot of it. You got to score to set your press up, and they haven't had a lot of luck putting the ball in the basket, so hence haven't gotten into their press. But out of that dead ball, they come out big time, force the turnover, and now have a chance to cut into this 18-point lead.
Season low in scoring was 60 in a win against Pitt, ACC foe. Habib, the kick out. Jamison's 3. She knew it was off right away, and Habib fights for the board. Look at this dive and a scuffle. Jump ball keeps possession here.
Jamison's got some long range, though. That's the comfort zone from her. 2-3 steps off the line.
Vanessa Blair-Lewis said, when you see the three-point line, just take about 4 steps back. That's the range for Jamison. She's not afraid to shoot it. Because George Mason struggling to hit from deep. 3 of 18 tonight. Good drive. Walton with a foul. 3-point play chance for Walton.
Nice job finding the gap. I might join her a little late coming over in to help. Split 2 defenders. Held it a little bit high off the glass.
And did you see that adjustment there by Walton? Like that would have been a block, but she flipped her hands last minute.
Yeah, well done.
Kira Walton out of Seattle, Washington.
She was injured last season, so she's excited to be back out on the court.
That'll stay here. Good effort by Habib on the boards.
I read in her bio that she likes buying shoes, and so do I.
At least we all have things in common. Look at all different pairs of kicks, by the way. There's like 10 different pairs for 10 players. New age college basketball. I wear the Air Jordans myself. As this three is missed from Suarez.
George Mason's starting to pick up the defensive pressure, gambling with some traps.
Oh, here's a trap. And now a turnover. Good save. Oh, behind the back. Jamison, look at the runner. Walton, no. Habib cleans it up in transition.
And a little change in momentum here, and East Carolina needs to be careful.
Now the double team, and Dennis earns a foul on Jamison. She knows it.
She knows it. When you play as active as she does, it's inevitable.
How has this pressure changed the game for George Mason?
I mean, now East Carolina is uncomfortable, and they're playing at a different pace. And we talked about controlling tempo, and is George Mason now forcing this havoc and this rushed play?
It is a bonus situation the next 3.5 minutes.
And this will give the Pirates a chance to like slow down.
ECU 13 of 19 from the line, and Suarez will exit. There's Sonia Smith.
I like the energy right now that George Mason is playing with. I mean, they're just going after everything. And that's what they got to do. They got to start to gamble. They need possessions.
Now, free throw shooting has been a bugaboo for the Pirates in years past. 70% this year. Missed 10 free throws in a win over Eastern Shore on December 4th.
14 for 21. They've gotten 21 free throw attempts, which is impressive. They've been attacking the basket.
George Mason has not been within single digits since the first quarter, where they are down 15. Newly inserted Jada Brown swings it to Harris. She launches. That's off. Ooh, and Mosley is fouled on the rebound.
Morgan Mosley gives some experience in the post. She makes some big plays for her team. She took 3 charges in the last game. She has 44 for her career. That's what she does. She does the dirty work, and you saw how she got up for that rebound.
I want to thank the SID Cole Barnhill finding that nugget for us this week.
Very impressive, Cole. Talk about doing the dirty work.
Not just the players on the court, the support staff. Great point. So 2 free throws here for Mosley after the foul.
She's only taken 4 on the season and only knocked down 2 of them.
This is one area Kim McNeil will look at the tape before that Charleston Southern game on Thursday. Now Taylor Jamison re-enters.
I like her on the court. She's just the fire that this team needs. Patriots need her going forward.
Jamison is 14th all-time at George Mason in three-point makes. That's a huge offensive weapon. Smith finds Habib. She hung in the air for about 5 seconds and missed it. That'll stay here.
I like that cut, though, right into the heart of the zone. We talked about Sonia Smith in the open, but she's been pretty quiet, picked up those early fouls. Only 2 points on the game for the leading scorer.
Here's Walton with some pressure. Oh, nice kick out. Smith hits the 3.
The most dangerous person on the end line out of bounds play is the inbounder.
And now the press is on. Good breakdown. Dennis. Oh, great find. And transition points for the Pirates.
Beautiful 2-on-1. Again, spacing's great. The timing's great. Corner 3.
Bingo! Back-to-back threes, George Mason.
Jada Brown from Falls Church. Patriots are coming to life from behind the arc.
Now the Pirates are breaking down this press well in the third quarter.
They did a great job inbounding quickly and not even letting the Patriots get into their press. One surefire way to beat it.
2 programs top 40 in the country in steals.
Oh, my got great position on that one. You got to feed the post when she's open. Danae McNeil with her jumper.
Little off balance. Tip drill goes to the Patriots. Oh, Johnson, her hands are nifty. That'll stay with George Mason.
12-point game. If you're George Mason, what's the magic number here in the next 2 minutes?
You're really happy with yourself right now that you've gotten this to a 12-point lead, and you still have 2 minutes to go, and you just chip away at this lead possession by possession, timeout by timeout. You play it in 4-minute segments. They're right where they want to be.
They've outscored the Pirates by 4 in the quarter, but a sloppy turnover there from Brown.
Mistakes like that are not going to help. They just can't have unforced turnovers, or even forced turnovers for that matter. They've got every possession is going to be valuable, and just here's great. It's really just an unforced error, and they're catching the ball too close to the baseline. A little flex action here by the Pirates.
Joyner sitting on 20 and 10. Attracts all the attention in the world. Dennis heaves up a prayer and was fouled on the drive. Vanessa Blair-Lewis can't believe it, and free throws here for ECU.
ECU's been able to turn the corner off that high screen multiple times tonight. Micah Dennis going to the free throw line.
How about that? 24 and 25 free throw attempts for the Pirates.
Micah Dennis is an 85% free throw shooter.
That's the one you want at the line.
That's what you like.
Those are Steve Nash type numbers. 90% free throw, or was it 40% three, 50% field goal in his career?
Not bad. I like that guy.
I watched a video this week. Steve Nash, 250 high fives a game. We see some high fives here after this missed free throw. He was a team energy guy for the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. Dennis makes 1 of 2.
Lets the Pirates get into their full court pressure.
Jamison finds Brown. Risky pass, Dennis the steal.
He's done a great job taking away the middle.
Oh, McNeil saved it. Dennis! No. Now a tussle. Here's George Mason with numbers. Harris the kick. Brown a shot fake and traveled. So from a coaching standpoint, that's a great move, but poor execution.
I love the shot fake, but she traveled when she did it, and you saw Joyner come flying out. I mean, she wants another block, and that's what you need to do. You just need to give her a shot fake, one dribble.
When the SWAT queen comes to the party, get those happy feet. Just got to hold that pivot foot. ECU breaks the press here in the final minute of this third quarter.
They just need to settle down and have a good possession here.
Dennis. Weish with all the positioning, backs out.
Good ball pressure. Weren't able to see Weish. Really did a nice job taking up a big chunk of the paint.
Look at that dime. Weish missed it. Joyner all over it and one! 22 and 11 for the rebounding queen.
What you got to do is get it up on the glass tonight. Joyner will clean it up for you. We got the miss here by Weish, and Joyner doing her work early, getting good position and finishing powerfully. And drawing the foul. Just like how strong she's playing in the paint.
She's absorbing that contact too. 14th double-double of Joyner's career. And extends it from the line.
Good job making the free throw.
That ties the career high in points as well at 23. MJ-esque. Final minute, Suarez gets the press. Suarez the dime. Walton, the shot fake, and draws the foul. Now that's the adjustment for George Mason.
When Suarez can get the ball in the middle of the floor against that press, she just has such incredible vision. You know she's going to make something great happen. You just would like to see George Mason just make one of those layups. They've had a lot of them at the rim tonight, just have been unable to convert.
That's 4 fouls on Weish.
She's played great tonight. It's one of the best games we've seen Weish play. Really well on the defensive end. She's done some nice things on offense. She's altered shots. Tati Weish, transfer from Florida.
Only the 10th free throw for George Mason.
Coach Kim telling us that Talia Weish, their sister, had been practicing really well. And for both the Weishes, just some good size that the Pirates need and playing well.
5 combined blocks from the Weish sisters. And 2 huge missed free throws from the Patriots. 3 of 12 tonight.
No hurry here for the Pirates. Double high screen. Stagger screen.
Here's Johnson.
Another stagger screen for Danae. She's going to curl it.
Into
nice
a triple
defense.
team and a travel. That was a good trap there by George Mason.
Suarez read that all the way. She was there. Danae McNeil likes to curl that second stagger, and Suarez was right in place.
24 turnovers for East Carolina, yet leading by 16. You don't see that too often. Suarez here breaks the press to Jamison. Oh, nice pass. Harris the find. Walton missed it.
Just another missed layup. They're going to go to the film and just see all these missed layup opportunities.
And a reach-in foul. Walton reached in after the miss.
Which puts the Pirates back on the free throw line.
And this has to be back-breaking if you're George Mason. Got back within 12, and then some costly turnovers.
Some mistakes. East Carolina getting ready to take their 27th free throw of the game. That's just got to be a little bit more disciplined on defense.
Walton with the 4 fouls exits, and Smith re-enters. And then Weiss will give Joyner a breather here. Dennis extends this lead. Good footwork there by Kim McNeil, avoiding her sub coming in.
She still got it.
She said her coach is still sweated up on the court. They'll work every minute with the players.
Micah Dennis 8 for 10 from the line.
Miller, the freshman, re-enters. Big minutes for the Woodbridge, Virginia product.
These free throws just let the Pirates continue to get into their full court press, which is not easy to play against.
Look at this press causing havoc. Harris breaks it. Now the double, and Suarez tiptoes the line. 8 seconds. Pressure Dennis. Reach in foul. Free throws here for George Mason.
Suarez trying to work that double high post screen, and East Carolina defense smothering, but it's a good call by the official. They got her on her arm, and that'll send Suarez to the line.
Mitchell will come in for Smith. Defensively, final 6 seconds.
Suarez is a 70% free throw shooter. Those are big points here for George Mason.
And Suarez entered this night 20 career games with 3 or more assists. It's been hard for her to set up her teammates with ECU's pressure. Only 2 assists for the point guard.
George Mason, 12 of 57 on the night.
Able to connect on a 5th free throw. Final seconds for the Pirates. Dennis draws a foul. And in the bonus situation, you're almost giving away opportunities to score.
And George Mason's only 5 for 13 from the free throw line. It's like every piece of their game. 21% from the floor, 23% from the three-point line, and 39% from the free throw line.
Those are not winning numbers.
It's just atypical for them.
An 8-1 club coming in. The Pirates, though, can't take advantage from the line. That's 10 missed free throws.
Micah Dennis has all of her points from the free throw line tonight. Make it 9.
9 of 12. Great point, Debbie. And now Smith back in offensively. Let's see what George Mason has in the bag here. 4 seconds left. Jamison, the three-point sharpshooter, heaves one up. Oh, Jamison just missed it. And Amaya Joyner is taking over in this basketball game, Debbie.
She's having the game of the season for her. You see she's working on the board. She's been relentless on the glass. Second effort to finish in the 17-point lead in Greenville.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
Welcome to the start of the fourth quarter here in Greenville. This game summary brought to you by Grady White Boats. It's been the Amaya Joyner Show. Not only a double-double, but 4 blocks shy of a triple-double tonight. And then ECU making life tough for George Mason offensively.
She's been everywhere, and it's ironic because ECU, for one of the first times this season, has more turnovers than their opponent. But Mason has not been able to convert on those turnovers. But credit to Amaya Joyner, the sophomore, only in the first semester of her sophomore year, for her great performance, great effort tonight.
Hey, those semester finals just ended. I'm calling it semester 2 already.
That's true.
Gearing up for the spring. You know, the final week before Christmas with the great Debbie Taylor. I'm EvanBudrovich. ECU was dominated from start to finish, led wire to wire. Nice kick out to Kaya Miller, and the freshman airballs her first 3. Neither team having great nights from distance. 1 of 7 for the Pirates, 5 of 23 for George Mason.
Yeah, the Pirates have really struggled from behind the arc, but they haven't needed the buckets from long range because they've done such a great job on the glass.
Jamison breaks the press. And George Mason's had point-blank looks in the third quarter, just unable to hit. Habib, good example, that rolls out. Doster the board and a foul. Went through the trees and earns free throws.
Great effort. Great effort by the graduate student.
Those were 3 tall, physical post players, and somehow Doster got the ball.
He just works so hard. 17 points is not insurmountable. You just have to play timeout to timeout, chip away at the lead.
And have to make free throws. 5 of 13 tonight for George Mason.
They're crucial. That's really hurt them.
The woes continue. Joyner will check in the moment. Here's Doster's second free throw. Who's the lane violation on? Okay, no shot. Wow, that's offensive. And these are mistakes George Mason just can't make.
No, they can't.
Here's Joyner checking in. So her first double-double in her career was a day ago, coming up last year. This has all been in a 365-day window, 14 double-doubles.
Here comes George Mason's press. Nice job getting the ball to the middle of the floor, settling in on the offensive end.
Despite the 23 turnovers, ECU's led by the 23 of Joyner, who feeds Dennis. Now Joyner's turn. Nice ball to Dennis, who takes advantage. Her first points outside the free throw line.
That's beautiful offense. The double team comes for Joyner. Somebody's got to be open. It's Micah Dennis and her first field goal of the evening.
Smith way off on the response, and that was wide open, as it'll stay here for George Mason.
Micah Dennis now in double digits. You see the double team comes, the dig down. Micah Dennis gets her feet set behind the line. Another assist for my Joyner.
What's the adjustment here for George Mason offensively? Because there are open looks, just not converting.
Yeah, they've taken how many shots tonight? 60? They're shooting 20%. But 60 shots, maybe 10% of them have been good looks at the basket. The others have been forced, rushed, contested. Credit the Pirate defense.
Brown transfer, Paige Greenberg checks in the game. Here's Paige with the rock. All 12 have checked in for the Patriots. That's very common for Coach Blair Lewis.
Just 5 players that average 9+ points a game.
Doster called for the offensive foul as Joyner made that shot tough. That won't go down as a block, but her effort defensively there is that's impressive.
She just alters shots. You have to go around her. Her length is so troublesome. She's doing a great job playing with her feet, not with her hands. That's just that time spent on defense over the exam break where she's continued to improve.
Here's Joyner sitting on a career high 23, tying that mark. McNeil. Oh, good move. And the floater's in. McNeil is 12 points shy of 1,000 now.
I don't know if there's anybody better going to their left and squaring their shoulders back up to the basket. She does it so incredibly well.
Now her hands in the passing lane. Harris the three. Off on the triple. That's been George Mason's woes. 5 of 25 from deep. Little 3-on-5 action for the moment.
Nice job defending the stagger for McNeil.
Dennis kicks. McNeil's turn. Oh, this number's heating up quickly. 18 for McNeil.
Can't keep her down for long, and I like that. She got her feet set, drew the defense, kicked out. She was ready to catch and shoot.
2 of 4 from deep for McNeil. And do you almost feed your senior the rock 9 points from 1,000 here?
She's got plenty of time this season to get her 1,000-point. Let's keep playing team basketball. There's a push in the back by Weish.
That'll be Weich's 4th foul.
This is a great drive. Draw to McNeil, get herself set. Beautiful shot. Add another 3 to her total as she's knocking on the door of 1,000.
So the Weish sisters will sub each other out, both with 4 fouls now.
So 23 for Joyner, 18 for McNeil, and 12 for Dennis. Good balanced scoring we talked about.
Habib slips one through and misses. Joyner adds to her rebound totals, 14.
Makes it look so easy.
Double-double in the blink of an eye for Joyner. Oh, good hands by Harris.
And there's no need for that.
Oh, Habib couldn't catch up to it. Watch out. All the way into the seats on that errant pass.
East Carolina's got a nice cushion. 7 minutes to play. They need to take care of the basketball, control the tempo of the game, and make good decisions.
Both these teams love to press, and ECU has better handled that tonight.
Really nice job getting that ball to the middle, breaking it. Now settle in. Run some good offense. And my Joyner down low. She got
Look
the
at this mismatch. Oh, a strip and a foul.
That's a great read. If George Mason's going to switch it, let my take the smaller defender.
So George Mason is racking up foul trouble. Suarez, Walton, and Doster all with 4.
The Pirates have really done a good job putting pressure on the defense, whether it's been with their basket attacks or getting great post position. They're forcing these fouls. My Joyner has been good from the free throw line for a 61% free throw shooter.
This is a career night for Joyner. Now a new best in points. And make it 25 with the free throw. Coming off this exam break, Joyner's having a show. 25 and 14. George Mason has only lost once all year. That was to a nationally ranked Maryland squad. But struggling here offensively. There's another turnover. And a jump ball will keep possession. What has impressed you about ECU's defense tonight?
They've been swarming. They've been energized. It's just they've taken it up a level. They're in the right spots. They're playing together as a unit of 5 people, and they're just getting deflections. They're playing with their hands and their feet, and they're just
leading to easy points in transition.
Creating offense with defense all night long.
So Sania Johnson joins the scoring party. That's 8 on the board. And 500 career points now for Sania. Big night for the career scoring marks for the Pirates. Dennis, easy find, and Joyner's having a night. 27. And a timeout, George Mason. Wow, East Carolina having a party here in transition, making things happen and putting away the Patriots here in Pirate Country.
Welcome back to Greenville. 1,500 plus tonight watching an offensive clinic from the Pirates. Joyner with a career high. McNeil gets rolling, and this offense clicking here, Debbie.
It's been all East Carolina, and they've done it with their defense. And George Mason is a team who typically shoots 41% from the floor, leads the Atlantic 10 in scoring and rebound. They average 77 points a game now. Midway through the fourth quarter, they have 34 points.
Those shooting woes continue. Here's a second chance, Habib. That was affected by Joyner. And now a steal, Dennis earning the foul. There's a lot of good looks there for George Mason, just nothing falling in the second half.
Well, if there is a positive for Mason, that was their 23rd offensive rebound of the game. And if there's a negative for East Carolina, that's something that the team is going to watch on film.
Wait, did you say 23 offensive rebounds?
23 offensive rebounds. Did
Oh
I read
my
that wrong?
gosh. No, that's totally right. That's just hard to fathom.
I mean, they've been crashing the boards. They're just not converting. They've missed so many layups tonight, and they're working hard on the glass. And East Carolina's going to have to come up for an answer for that in conference play.
Has just fouled out. George Mason gears up for conference play right around the corner. LaSalle on December 30th.
Atlantic 10's strong conference this year. VCU is good. St. Joe's is good. Davidson beat Duke. I mean, there's a lot of
6 top 100 teams in the net.
Rhode Island's good. I mean, it's powerful.
Joyner even up a prayer.
Well, that was Joyner's worst decision of the night as far as shots gone. And I'll give the sophomore one bad shot taken.
When you got 27 in the bag, you can afford one miss. Tim McNeil's club gears up for Charleston Southern on Thursday, and then a big test, #1 South Carolina after Christmas. How does a game like this get you ready for the big stage? Not only a top 100 team, but the #1 team in the country.
This East Carolina team is a team that's been trying to live up to expectations. They won the conference championship last season, and now you're expected to play at that level, and that mentally is really taxing. And so it's been hard for them to start this season, but what this game tonight is going to do for them is give them the confidence and show them how they're able to play if they play together and they play with that kind of energy. There's a foul right there.
Weish got hit in the face.
Unintentionally, nonetheless.
Never fun.
This is an impressive performance by East Carolina, and the bar has been raised.
And the bar will only get raised in American athletic play, starting January 2nd against UTSA.
George Mason is a really good team, and they have just really struggled to do anything tonight, shooting 19% from the floor.
This was a George Mason team that matched its road win totals from last year. Had 4 road wins, 4-1 entering tonight. Weish, though, on the Pirates, living with this size mismatch. Dennis, good look. A little contested in the steal.
Nice job closing up the paint by the Patriots.
Dennis is slow to get up. Numbers, Jamison off on the 3. Doster into bodies and a foul drawn. So we'll check on Micah Dennis real quick. She landed awkwardly after that pass.
Holding on to her knee. Trainer's out there. Coach Kim comes right out.
That's Rebecca Schmidt, the AT. That's a 5th-year senior. Hoping she's okay. My apologies. Kelsey Riley, the athletic trainer.
Looks like she's going to get up. It's a good sign. Micah's had a nice game. 12 points, 9 for 12 from the free throw line.
It'll be a quick turnaround for Thursday, so we'll check on Dennis coming into that game. This is a weird stretch, though, in college basketball, Debbie. If you're ECU, you play December 4th and then basically 2 games before the 30th.
It's a weird time of year, but a time that you can get better. Excited to see Karina Gordon, another freshman for the Pirates. She's a 3-point shooter. She's got the green light in transition, which Coach Kim doesn't give to a lot of freshmen. Speaks highly to her shooting ability.
What a relief for Doster, finally hitting a free throw after an 0 for 5 start.
They've been abysmal from the free throw line.
Makes both. That's a good positive note for George Mason, who gears up for a difficult Towson team, one of the CAA favorites, December 22nd.
Towson, they're fast, they're athletic, they're so well coached.
Kylie Cornegay-Lucas is a star in the making in the CAA.
That's where these programs originally met in the 80s and 90s. At the time, Colonial Athletic Association rivals.
Yeah.
Newly named Coastal Athletic this year. Debbie, that was your old stomping grounds.
There you go. We used to come down here and play in this Purple Palace.
Now it's a house of horrors for all opposing offenses. Holding George Mason 30 points below its average. Gordon lets it fly. And Jamison's got it. Good run out by Mitchell, beating the defense. And, oh, man, some of these missed layups. If you're watching the tape, Vanessa Blair-Lewis, there are chances here to cut into this game.
This is just one of those games as a head coach. You just have to shake your head. And, you know, it's after exams. A lot of teams don't come out well after exams. And you just have to let it go. I mean, there's things to learn, but somebody told me once that your team will play 50% of their games on the line, 25% above and 25% below, and you got to just take that 25% below and learn a little bit and let it go.
This has been a rough one. A second loss for George Mason. Good shot there for Sonia Smith. She's been in foul trouble all night. 7 points now.
She's really had a rough night. Foul trouble early. Their leading scorers just struggled to make anything happen. They needed her tonight.
It's the George Mason senior class, 2,000 combined points. A lot of experience coming back. And we'll gear up for a difficult A10 slate. Joyner behind the back and double dribbled. There was a lot of creativity there.
Yeah, she's trying to make a little bit happen down there. She'll learn to pick her spots, and I can't say enough about her performance tonight. It's been really impressive.
Her coach, Kim McNeil, mentioned playing with emotion, positively, and then handling that emotion on both ends. And she's done that well tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a big point. And, you know, you want to see that consistency. Great players just go to the next play. They don't react to it. They just continue to play, and she'll get there.
Added 6 blocks to the double-double tonight. Greenberg misses the layup. Oh, quietly a 27 and 16 kind of night. And then Weiss is cherry picking, but missed the layup. Couple of missed chances for both squads as we hit the final 3 minutes. Greenberg, she's off. This game's a little out of hand score-wise, but as a coach, what do you want to see in the next 2.5, 3 minutes?
You know, I want to see continued effort if I'm George Mason. You just want to keep giving 100% regardless of the score. For East Carolina, I hope you see some of their subs come in now and get some valuable minutes that they're going to need later on in the season. As you see, Danae McNeil and Mai Joyner both go to the bench. 2 great performances tonight. Let some of your players get some valuable minutes. It's a long season.
A foul on East Carolina. And that's Weiss, so she is just fouled out.
I thought Weiss played with a lot of effort tonight.
Both Weisses have fouled out. Twins with a double trouble.
That's all right.
That's like the old hack-a-shack. You earn your 5 fouls, and then you earn your 5 fouls. And now they're both on the bench with Corey McNeil. Good passing. Sets up Jamison for 3. It's been that kind of night. A lot of good looks, and O'Board with a foul. 5 of 28 from deep. And those are good looks, too, if you're Jamison.
Well, one of the keys that Coach Vanessa told us was they were going to have to make long-range shots against this zone to be successful in the game, and they've really struggled to do that.
Vanessa Blair-Lewis
a lot of clean looks.
Has really revamped this George Mason program. Inherited a 3-game winner. Has George Mason now with the 2nd best record of any team in the A10 entering tonight.
She's really done an incredible job, and I do love the philosophy, the selflessness, how many players she plays.
Is without one of her stars, Nalani Kasia, who's out for the year with an injury, but 12 others have stepped in and played multiple minutes.
Coach Blair-Lewis telling us about her mom, who's fell and broke her pelvis this season, and how the kids gave her a little Ubuntu. And
every player wrote a note and a letter and sent it to the mom.
Yeah, they made a video for her. You know, when you hurt, we hurt, and we're happy to say that Mrs. Blair is doing great, and shout out to Mrs. Blair.
And Mama Blair went up to Mount St. Mary's, where her daughter's a Hall of Famer up there, and enjoyed the show.
She follows the team, but Vanessa wasn't going to let her make this trip with a little long bus ride tonight.
Look at his physicality late. Pirates get a steal. Patriots get it back.
These two teams can feel each other out a bit after last year's battle in Fairfax.
Well, and the officials don't want to let this game get out of control. It's getting a little fast and furious, and they just want to keep everybody safe.
What's your favorite Fast and Furious?
I've never, ever seen them. But
It's like double-digit
movies. I can tell
movies.
you my favorite Rocky.
Hey, that's a great point. We're going to stop at Rocky 3, right? We don't have to keep going. With the great Debbie Taylor, I'm EvanBudrovich. All ECU tonight have led wire to wire. Jamison needs some help. Oh, good shot fake. That's been a difference maker for George Mason, the layup for Walton. This will be the fewest points scored all year for George Mason. The previous low was 60. Entering the house of horrors for offense. East Carolina top 30 in scoring, best in forcing those turnovers. And a good kick out by Gordon. Another foul as O'Hara hangs on to it. That was committed by the freshman Jade Tillman, her first minutes.
Good opportunity to get your freshmen some minutes in this game.
Speaking of young players, Kamora Jenkins, who's a savvy vet, comes in, fourth-year junior.
Morgan Mosley, the experience on the floor right now, talking to her young teammates.
Well, this must feel like a mama cub, baby puppies coming in. I'm going to guide these young freshmen through minutes.
O'Hara on the free throw line, knocking it down. The Australian. Is she majoring in neuroscience? Underachiever, huh?
And has played with the Australian junior national team in the summer. Such a neat story. Another lane violation. This time it's on the Pirates. We noted with George Mason, but this is a busy stretch coming up. Good Towson team, Rhode Island, who almost defeated NC State a couple weeks back, and then Davidson, the league favorites. That's a tough stretch over the next 5 games.
They've got the A10, as we said, strong, but they've got a lot of competition coming. But they've played a good schedule. They're poised and ready. This was just not their night.
This is the highest net ranking in George Mason history. 4 years of the net in the 60s. And East Carolina riding a 3-game win streak. That'll move to 4. Here's Miller for 3. That one's off. Maybe the one bugaboo for the Pirates. 3 of 13 from deep.
Didn't matter tonight, though, because they did it all with their defense and with Amaya Joyner doing a great job on the boards.
Walton the board, and she heads to the line with a minute left. East Carolina hits a daunting stretch on the back end coming up. Charleston Southern Thursday, and then Dawn Staley's club. I love this matchup. #1 team in the country coming in at the end of the year.
It's going to be a great measuring stick. It's a barometer for where you are. They've got size, they've got speed, they've got length. I mean, you know,
and they have Pow Pow.
They've got Pow Pow. Pow Pow is fun to watch.
Interesting but odd note, Kim McNeil's undefeated all time against Dawn Staley as a coach, back to her Hartford days. Way back in the time.
Even as an assistant coach, so every staff she's been on when she's played against Dawn Staley, she has won. See if she can keep the streak going.
That's
on
a nugget
30th.
she can keep on her chin heading into that matchup. Cardoso versus Joyner, 6'7" versus 6'2", do it all. That'll be fun. O'Hara the board in the midst of traffic. I love the effort here of the Australian product. She's working hard.
That's what you want to see. Play it to the final whistle.
Jump
Ran
ball.
into a buzzsaw in Greenville. Just keep playing hard.
So ECU will continue this home stretch. 4-game win streak now. Starting to get back into form on the defensive end as Tillman's off on the jumper. Well, gets her on board and around the world and out. That's an unkind game for Tillman. Pardon me, that was Jaden Cook getting her first minutes. These teams are not quitting, even in the last 11 seconds. Another jump ball. I think some freshmen like Cook trying to earn more minutes.
East Carolina took the lead early in this one and never looked back. George Mason just struggled to get a good shot off. Right now, shooting 19% from the floor on the evening.
That'll go the other way as ECU forces its 24th turnover of the night. They average 28, so it's a town night by turnovers, but up in every other factor.
And I think the two things for Coach Kim is going to be the turnovers and the allowed offensive rebounds, but there's so much to be proud of in this game for East Carolina.
East Carolina riding a fantastic double-double from Amaya Joyner, just dominant in a 21-point home win over George Mason. Hard to even fathom these numbers for Joyner. 27, 16, and 6 blocks. And the hometown native puts on a show right before Christmas.
She really was unstoppable, and we knew she had it in her. She was just a big-time recruit, hometown kid, chose to stay at East Carolina, wanted to play for Coach McNeil, and we've been waiting for this burst of brilliance, and tonight she just came and fired on all cylinders. She did it on the glass, she did it in the low post, she did it defensively with her great shot blocking, and she had some really nice assists, too. Just a well-rounded game for Amaya Joyner.
All the energy and the effort there for Joyner. It was fun to watch at times, especially in that first half. What a performance from Amaya. And here's the head coach, Kim McNeil. Okay, Kim, put it in a context here. Watching Amaya Joyner from your perspective, what was that like, just seeing her dominate out there?
That's what I've been waiting on. I think we all know she can do that. We talked about that on Sunday. We know she can play that way. She was very much more under control emotionally. And when she can control her emotions, she can get games like that every night.
Yeah, you talked about working on defense over the break, and I thought your defense was stellar tonight.
Yeah, we did much better defensively. I thought we weren't perfect, and we made mistakes, but we had each other's backs. We didn't quit. We kept playing, kept helping each other, and just it was a unit out there tonight.
What did you notice out of that 2-week break? What most impressed you about your team?
I just thought just the effort in practice. You know, I'm a big believer of you practice the way you play, and I thought we stringed together some good practices when we hadn't done that in the past, and so that was fun to see. And then it was obviously waiting to get out here and see if it would translate to the game, and obviously it did.
Yeah, well, you had 3 double-digit scorers, which is always nice to see. It's a nice job on the boards, especially Amaya did a nice job on the boards. What do you take away from this one as you build momentum into the next one and then into South Carolina?
Yeah, just continuing to get better defensively. I thought we could have finished better. How many offensive rebounds did they end up with?
A lot. You don't want to know.
I know. I don't want to. Probably at least 30.
Look at it after done with us.
Yeah, at least 30-some. So, you know, if anything, it's just finishing the play. You know, boxing out more. You know, I think we're getting pushed underneath the rim. So we got to continue to work on boxing out and finishing plays.
Congrats on the win, Coach. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate you guys.
That's Kim McNeil. Her Pirates dominate from start to finish. This game had everything. Physicality, double-doubles, a lot of emotion. And in the matchup of 2 top 100 teams in the country, it was all Pirates from the start. Amaya Joyner, the star, with the double-double, and her teammates step up. For Debbie Taylor and our talented crew, it was the Joyner Show tonight. Hope you had a fun one here in Greenville. This is a presentation of ESPN as we sign off from ECU.